Welcome back, friends and neighbors, to Banks Barnyard. This is an episode I've kind of alluded to in the past, and the one that my good friend and classmate from the Naval Academy, Tom Flaherty, has been waiting on. Today we're making venison summer salami. Not summer sausage, but summer salami. I have a spice kit that I got from a local place here in town that recently went defunct, but I always love their spices, so I'm gonna use this. I do have a different recipe for summer sausage that I will make in the future, but today we're making summer salami. So we have the spice packet, and then we have our venison and pork in here, and I'll talk about that as we go, but let's get started. All right, so we have 25 pounds total of meat. We have about 12 pounds-ish, a little over, of venison that I killed this past hunting season up in Wisconsin. You might say, hey, Bink, you're in Nebraska. Why didn't you kill any deer in Nebraska? Well, last 2 years in Nebraska have been kind of rough for me hunting-wise. Year prior, I had a hernia, did not hunt in Nebraska. And this year, I threw one arrow at a doe, and it hit a twig, and that was it. It was kind of rough hunting season for a lot of my friends this year, and that the drought and stuff's made it hard. So go up to Wisconsin every year to hunt with another Naval Academy classmate, Dan, and usually I zap 2 or 3 deer up there a year, depending on how well I do down here. So we'll get started. Got our meat mixture here. I've already combined the cure and the seasoning packet. So we'll get it poured into here. And then after you get this mixed in here, what we are going to do is we'll dump some water in here, 2 or 3 cups, and we'll get it all mixed up and go from there. So there we go. We got some water. I'm gonna go with the 2 cups first because we're gonna mix this up till it gets tacky. There we go, about half a cup. Sweet, that'll leave us about 1 more cup to go. So we're gonna mix this up. I'll throw some gloves on, just makes things a little easier. And I'll show you what it looks like once we get to that point. All right, so as we said earlier, we got in there, I got some gloves on now. All you're gonna do in here is get in here, you gotta mix the meat up, get it mixed up good. So I like to kind of just start folding this thing over and you gotta get your hands around, trying to splash this stuff around. You saw earlier, it can get kind of tricky here. So other thing too is when you're mixing the meat up here, you want to make sure that you're getting all that cure everywhere. So when I'm making summer sausage with my Aunt Sue's recipe, which again, I'll make some of that here in the future, it cures for 3 days. Now, the directions here, though, this spice pack came with, it said it's really for a day. You can't hurt it by letting it cure for an extra day or 2, so that's what we're gonna do. Instead of casing this tomorrow, I'm going to pull it back out again tomorrow. I will mix it up, and then we will throw it in some of the good old salami cases there, like you get summer sausage in. We'll throw it in the smoker. Then we'll smoke it for, I don't know, probably 6-8 hours, maybe a little longer on a super low setting, till we get to about internal temperature, about 155 to 165 degrees. Because 1, this is cured meat, and 2, you don't want to cook all the fat out of it. Fat's good stuff. And then we'll let it sit refrigerator for another couple days uncovered. And then we'll slice her up. Well, not slice, but once I guess slice it up, freeze it, and all that kind of stuff. Go from there. All right, so I've been mixing this up for probably, 8 or 10 minutes. Didn't feel like you needed to sit there and watch that. So I've gotten pretty much all of the mixed in here, mixing it up real good. This would be a lot better if I had one of them really fancy meat mixers that companies make out there. Maybe in the future we'll get big enough to where folks will want to send me some of their products to review, and that would be phenomenal. So got it in here good. Now I could just leave it just like this and cover it up in saran wrap and let her set for a day in the refrigerator. But that's not what I like to do because I get my OCD kicking in. So what I'm going to do is, we'll, like I said, I'll keep probably mix this up a little bit, but I'm going to put this into a couple 2-gallon Ziploc baggies, maybe 3, and then also makes it easy to deal with. So as I go through this, mix this stuff up, and I'm getting all the pork and the venison ground up, I'll mix this all back up together again tomorrow one time, and then in a day, 2 days from now, I will put it all together one more time. We'll mix it all up, and then probably separate it into 2 batches. I will use some cheese curds. I'll grind those up in the food blender processor, and we will add those to about half of it. So half of this salami here will have some cheese in it. Half of it will not. So I'll probably do this here for another 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll fold it up a few times. Like I said, just trying to get all this mixture. And it's pretty tacky now. You can kind of see it's on my hands. I don't mind adding a little bit of extra water to it. When we case this up, we'll add some. But this water just kind of helps get all the seasoning through it. Because when we smoke this, you're not really cooking it. You're just it's cured. You're cooking it to get it to a temperature where it's edible and safe. But it's cured, and we just want to kind of cook some moisture out of it. We don't want to cook all the fat out of it. That's why you don't want to get to the 170, 180 degrees. It's too much. We're not making sausage patties here. So we'll get that down, and then, you still want those nice pieces of fat in there. So this should be about 85% or so lean, lean. The pork is about 90% lean that I got from a place here in town. It's ground pork. Then my venison's probably 95, so it might be a hair leaner than 85, 15 mixture, but that's all right. We'll go there. So, all right, so we're mixed up now. I will now put this in some Ziploc baggies, wash out my tray here, and then put this in the refrigerator overnight. Then we'll mix it back up again tomorrow, like I said, and go from there.
What you should be seeing here is me mixing up about 2.5 cups of water in the 25 pounds of sausage there, and telling you why, which is to add moisture to it. So 1, it goes through the sausage stuffer easier, and 2, that way that moisture is what gets cooked out of the sausage. But we had some technical difficulties, so we move on.
All right, we're all set up here. I got my, again, 5 or 6 pound sausage stuffer filled with some meat. Plunger in there. I got some pre-moistened summer sausage sleeves got from Cabela's. Again, not sponsored by those guys, but it's all right. Put them in the water. They've been there for about a half hour, so it doesn't really take that long, but you want to do it that way. They're a lot more pliable. So I will feed this up onto here. Usually if I have a helper, it's a lot easier. I almost forgot to lock it in place here. It's always fun when that happens. So we'll start giving it a squeeze. Like now, I start filling this tube in here. These are 2.5 pound sausage tubes. So I should only have to use about 10 of these today. Maybe a little more just because I'm putting some, I'm putting the cheese in it, so it'll make a little bit more. I'll probably add another pound or so. So I may have to use a couple smaller sausage servers. You see you're getting a little blowback back here in the back. That's all right. Doesn't always go perfect. But you want to get it so it's nice and firm. Again, with another set of hands, this is a heck of a lot easier. So what you don't want to do though is fill up so much that you can't tie this off in the end. So, try to get it as firm as I can. And about right there, I think I'm gonna call it good. So slide this off, and it'll keep coming out of there. We'll then take Pack it down really good. A good twist. Again, because you want this as firm and as taut as I can get it. I finally broke down and bought me a set of hog ring pliers. Yay. Got those preloaded in here. Got it on there now. I'll go ahead and redo this again. Get it all nice and tight. And clamp our hog ring pliers. And we're good. So that is loaf number 1. I will do this probably 4 more times for the summer sausage. Doesn't have any cheese in it. And then I will make the summer sausage with some cheese in it, and we'll go from there. All right, friends, we're back. That took a hell of a lot longer than I planned on it. We did about 4.5 sticks. I might end up making more cheese. I don't know. Public mass kind of a pain in the butt. But notice I did have some issues with my little sausage stuff for the could. I've had that thing for probably 4 or 5 years now. I've probably put 1,000 pounds of sausage through it. It's probably about to get up the ghost today. This is probably the last time I get to use it, which, you know, I've been wanting to do it anyways. But I guess at the end of the day, I don't have to clean it up. So moving on. So now we have 12-ish pounds of, 12.5 pounds, whatever, of venison and pork sausage here made up. I'm gonna smooth it out here a little bit because now we're gonna add some cheese to it. So I talked to you earlier, a guy turned me on to using cheese curds instead of that highfalutin, high temp stuff, because you can also make that high temp stuff at home, get some cheese out, cut it up, small things, put it in the freezer, let it start to dry out, curl, boom, you're done. Same guy was like, or you could just use cheese curds. Good old fashioned Wisconsin cheese curds. So I got some cheese curds, cut it up. See, some of these might have some bigger pieces on it. I'll break a few of those up. I mean, because I like the cheese in them, but you don't want a big, you know, a whole lot of big pieces in there. Got some jalapenos in it. Jalapenos for those of you that oblo. And you go about a 10% mixture here of cheese to meat. You can go up to 20, or we're gonna probably be like 15. If I was to guess. So get it in here. It's like everything else, right? So, you know, if you notice the last little tidbit there, video, I did not add all the water to it. And that was because I knew we were gonna do this and probably need some more. So I get this mixed up real good. If I feel like I need more cheese, we'll just add it to it. So the key is here, when you're using this stuff to put some cheese or whatever into your summer sausage or salami or what the hell ever you're making. Don't overcook it. Like I said, when I was mixing up the first, the first time a couple days ago, I'm looking for about 152 to 155. Again, this is a cured meat, right? So I don't have to cook it, to the pork safe at 165 or whatnot. I don't go making cooking your pork at home regular 150 and getting sick. I'm like, well, Bink said I could do this. Well, look, man, I ain't a professional. I just slept at the Holiday Inn Express last night. You know what I mean? So mix this all up here. It's not looking bad as far as the consistency of cheese, but we got a little extra. Let's use a little extra. The last batch I made with this stuff was friggin' awesome. Like, I probably overcooked a little bit of it. So some of it, just started to melt, but it was delicious. Everybody loves it. I got some friends, we joke that I'm the sausage king of Papillion. Like I said, I made over 100 pounds of sausage last year. I'm not sure that anybody other than Hy-Vee or Fairway or maybe, Just Good Meats up there in Ralston made more sausage than me last year here in the 5 or 6 mile circle. I could be wrong. I'm not a processor, so they might be a few guys here to do that stuff, but whatever. Self-proclaimed sausage king of Papillion, Jeremiah Binkley. All right, so kind of liking how this is looking as far as consistency of cheese. It ain't gonna be perfect. I say my OCD does kick in a little bit, so I'm like, I gotta try to get it everywhere, but man, you can get it perfectly done here, and all it takes is that stinking little my sausage stuffer to only put it out a certain way. So we got this done. You saw how I stuffed the sausage over there earlier, the casings. Don't think you need to watch another video of that. So this is how the sausage is made here at the at Big's Barnyard. So I'll get this cased, and then based on the time of the day and things we have going on in family this evening, I don't know that I have the time to really put this in the smoker and the oven and let it go, because it may be finishing up as we're gone tonight. And again, I don't want to overcook it, so I'll probably just wait till tomorrow morning, throw it in the smoker and the oven. Again, letting it sit and cure for one more day is not going to hurt anything. When I make my summer sausage recipe from scratch, I let it cure for 3 days, 3 whole days, 72 hours. And then case it, and then smoke it or finish it in the oven, depending on what I'm doing. So, you know, I'll keep it cold. I'll wash all these casings off so they're not nasty, and then separate them so I know which ones are what, and then we'll go from there. So the next time we meet here, it will be time to put these in the smoker. All right, well, I fibbed a little bit. You can see this again before we do we smoke these tomorrow and finish them off and cook them. Because, as I expected here, my little sausage stuffer that has left the pattern. It has departed. So, you know, there's a couple ways to finish doing this. The first time I ever made summer sausage and I wanted to case stuff, I pretty much ruined a jerky gun, so I'm not going to ruin my new jerky gun because I just got a new one this past year, and I don't want to ruin it doing stuff in sausage. The other option would be that I could not case this, but since it has cheese in it, I'm going to. If it was the other stuff, what you could do, you could just roll it up into like pepperoni size, 1.5 to 2 inch diameter logs, and you can cook it that way. Because when you do that, and you cook it super slow, at the end of the day, it'll create its own little crust and its own little stuff on the side. That's the original recipe I got from my Aunt Sue. That's how she makes her summer sausage. But what I'm going to do here instead is just go ahead and get this kind of as small as I can. Get it down here to the casing, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. We're going to make some chicken salad out of you know what today. And for those of you who don't know, that's chicken poop. So, I've been kind of I've always wanted to do sausage stuffer since I kind of got into making this and really enjoyed it and started making tons of it. Figured the Sausage King Papillion probably ought to have some good gear. So, for those of you that are watching, if you do make your own sausage, you case, and you know something that you have something you recommend, let me know. Something reasonable. I mean, I'm not looking to spend $400 or $500 on something. I mean, again, this ain't my day job. I just enjoy doing it. So, a couple $100, I'd probably do it. I will have a little smaller, couple small casings here. I guess I could probably just use the big one here. It's just harder to get it all the way down to the end. It'll be a kind of short log, story of my life. But we'll go from there. So catch you guys here when we get ready to smoke this. All right. Next morning, we have our summer salami casings ready to go. Got the smoker fired up. It's outside. It's about ready to rock. Got the oven preheated. So these are the ones I will do inside. We'll do essentially a stick and a half of the summer salami with cheese, and then 2 sticks, and then the little tiny sucker of the summer salami without cheese in there. So got the oven at 170. There we go. What I like to do is have these down on some of the lower racks. That way the broiler, the heater element up top doesn't cook the ones on top too much, because we're not trying to cook this, we're just trying to smoke this. So we'll go ahead and get these in there and then get out to the smoker and get it going. All right, we got the old Pit Boss Pro Series fired up here. Not sponsored by those guys either, but got all the smoke setting, which is lowest it'll go, probably about 170, 180. I got a couple of the ones with cheese off the left, a couple without the cheese off the right. I'll swap these because Pit Boss does really good, but it's not as always as even heat as I would like it to be. So I do try to keep, you can see there, the big heat element's kind of right there in the middle. So that's where the majority of the heat is. Hottest part is on the ground, so I don't have it on the bottom there. I don't mind it when I'm smoking meat or whatever, but for this here, I kind of want to keep these guys fine. I'm not putting any temperature probes in them yet. I'll come out here every now and then and rotate them off camera. That way, trying to keep the temperature even in them. And then probably, I mean, we got 8 or 9 hours for these and the ones inside, if not a hair more. So I'm not going to worry about any temperature probes or using my good thermometer in them until probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 hour point. To be continued. All right, so we have rotated these. We've checked them. I've already checked the other end. So we're about 150 to 155 on these two. These are the ones that didn't have any cheese in them. They were on the other side. So we've been rotating them. Checked both ends. They both look the same at 155, 157. This one over here, these guys here are about 140. So we're going to pull these off. I am going to get my other thermometer and check it real quick, just in the middle. It's a smaller probe, allows it to be a little more, it's a little more accurate, precise, if you will. And then we'll pull them off. All right, on the side, I got my good thermometer. We are at about 160. You see that on this one? And then we are at 165 on that one, a little hotter on the end. Let's go here in the middle. Just kind of check there. Yeah, 156 or so. Go down here right in the middle as well. And 151, 154. So we'll go ahead and pull these off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these guys directly into, and those are not cold, by the way. That is my tap water. Put it in here for about a half hour or so. We'll stop the cooking process and get it going. These guys over here, about 142, 145, we probably have, I don't know, maybe an hour. So again, little water bath here, just to let you guys know. On the inside, I checked those, and the inside is like 120 or so. So my smoker usually cooks things a little faster, or smokes it faster. See, these are nice and taut. So we're gonna cool these down for about a half hour, and then I'll dry them off, and then we'll put them in the refrigerator overnight uncovered. Well, all right, they have been in the sausage here, been in the refrigerator uncovered for a couple days. They are nice and firm, and we are done. They're cooled. Only thing we have to do now is I will cut these in thirds and then vacuum seal them. That way they are ready to go. You know, if you kind of look at the numbers here, we have 1, 2, 3, 7 large tubes of logs, whatever, of Summer Salami, and then a couple smaller ones. Well, I weighed these right before I smoked them, and while these are 2.5 pound sausage casings according to Cabela's, I actually got about 3.5 pounds stuffed into these. So I legitimately have 3.5 pounds of sausage in a 2.5 pound sack, for those that know. But anyways, let's go ahead and we'll cut open one of these here, kind of look and see how all these look. So go to the thirds here. That's about a third. This one's got cheese in it. What do you know? Looking good and pretty. And then we'll grab another one here. Hopefully it's not one with cheese. We'll see. If not, we'll grab one more. Nope, this one does not have cheese in it. So that's how I like to pack them. You see, I mean, that's some good looking summer sausage, summer salami, whatever you want to call it. Smells delicious. And, you know, I actually have not sampled this yet. So let's just go ahead and let you know how it tastes. Take off the out. That's delicious. Exactly like I wanted it to taste. So that is this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed. It'll probably be a couple days late because this is legitimately taking a week to make. So enjoy and bon appetit.